Hi friends, welcome back to SGK English for a new video. In this lesson, let us discuss Ielts speaking part 1. In the first video, we saw greeting the examiner. I hope you have understood it. Today, let us discuss what all are the common topics for a speaking test part 1. Generally, you may be asked 12 questions in part 1 of your speaking test. Generally, they come from 3 topics. The topics are quite familiar to you. You can answer it, anybody can answer. Only thing is that you must be confident, fluent and speaking with no break in between. That's all. Topics are very simple. I hope and I expect all of you will be able to answer them. See, the first topic comes from these 3. They are work or study, home and hometown. So from these 3, you may have the first, part 1 question. The examiner will ask you something related to these 3 topics. The first one is work or study. So he will ask you, do you work? That might be the first question you may get for your speaking test part 1. So, do you work or do you study? You need not go for long answers or expansion of your work or study. Nothing. Just answer him, I work or I study. So just simply say, short questions you need to answer with short answers. You just simply say, I work or I study. Sometimes you may not have got a job, you have finished your work, then you have to say, you finish your study, then you have to say, I have just finished my university, but not yet working. So I told you in the first video, it is better that you use this contracted form of I expressions. So, I just finished my university. I have just finished my university, but not yet working. So, then he will go on with other, additional or, extra or supplementary questions related with your work or study. So, where do you study? Where do you work? There can be a question, most probably. Where do you work? Where do you study? Or why did you choose that subject for your study? Why did you choose that job? A possible question. See, what is your reason for selecting such a job? Are you interested in that? Are you satisfied? Are you happy in that? Do you want to continue in that for long? How do you feel? Satisfaction professional, how do you feel that? There can be many questions. Yes. Then the first day of your study in the college, the university, the first day of your work also. So there can be many questions, simple questions they are all. You need to answer with simple answers. Yes. The people you work with, or your colleagues with whom you study, friends. Are you good at making friends? How do you feel when you are with your friends? Possible questions. So the first topic is work or study. You will be either working or you will be studying. So answer short answers very clearly, fluently, without a break. So possible questions are these. Where do you work? Where do you study? How do you feel in your place of work? Are you good at making friends? Who is your best friend? Why do you choose him as your best friend? Do you go with him for outing? how do you spend your holidays? So many related questions can there be from the first topic, work or study. The second topic that might be asked is home. Of course, very simple topic, you can simply answer. Where you live? Where do you live or where you live? Whether it is in a house or in an apartment. Then the rooms in the house and how are they decorated? Which is the best room you like? Where you spend most of your time? Why do you like that room? How do you spend your time there? Then what kind of views from the windows? Then the people you live with, who all are there? With whom you live? The area or locality. What is the area where you are living? Something about the home and its surroundings. So there can be many questions, possible questions. Yes, where do you live or where you live? The house or the apartment, the rooms in the house, how they are decorated, most probably where do you spend most of your time? What kind of views you get from the windows, from your room? Yes, the people you live with. Then the area or the locality. Yes. So now we come to the third topic, hometown. You may be asked some questions related to your hometown, the place where you were born, the most beautiful place for you, your native place where you were born, then where you spend most of your time, your native place, your place of birth, then places in your hometown, old buildings, if there are. The weather of that area, transportation, or if you plan to live there in future, how do you feel while you are in your hometown? Is it the best place for you? Or do you want to shift from there? Do you want to live there for long? So many questions there can there be. So the third topic is hometown. The place where you were born, your native place, your place of birth. Yes, where you spend most of your time is the best place for you. Or do you want to spend more time there? Do you like to enjoy being there? How do you feel when you are, in your hometown? Yes, all those things are the possible questions that may be asked with regard to hometown. These three are the most important topics from which you may get a question for your speaking test part 1. So what are the possible other topics? Let us see. So you have 2 more topics. So what may be your second topic? I have listed 18 topics which are quite familiar to you. You may be getting a question from any of these. We will discuss some of them in the coming videos. So you hear very often, you might have heard or read somewhere that topics for Ielts speaking test is quite simple and easy. Always that may not be the case. Sometimes the topics might be challenging also. Let us see what all are the possible topics. Once read them. Family, friends, hobbies, weather, happiness, sport, food, clothes, school, flowers, shopping, computers, going out, newspapers, childhood, holidays, dictionaries, transport, etc. and etc. These are the possible topics from which you may get the next question. Yes, some of them are not that easy. For example, happiness to explain is not that easy. Flowers, for example, dictionaries, for example. So you must prepare ideas as well as vocabulary. So you must prepare yourself. Most of these topics, some of them are very easy for you. For example, family and all, we have already seen family, friends and all. Some may not be that easy. It may be challenging too. So you have to prepare with new ideas, good sentences, with no grammatical mistakes, and of course with good vocabulary, and not repeating same words again and again. So we will discuss some of them in the coming videos. In the meanwhile, you go through it once again and prepare yourself as far as possible these topics. We may deal with more topics too. That is all for today's lesson. Meet you with another video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.